What's up, Sole Sanity viewers? It's me and Rich here today. We're going to be talking about Sinners. For anybody who hasn't seen the Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan masterpiece, or at least that's what we're going to call it so far. You know, we'll get into our thoughts a little bit later here in the video. But I do plan to talk for like 3 to 5 minutes just about the film in general with no spoilers. And then the people who have, so this is for the people who have not seen the film, so this is going to be a little bit of, you know, why should you go see it and how should you watch it, you know, things like that, and then maybe a little bit of information like, you know, to give you insight into some of the film, you know, setting and time and place, and then we'll have a portion, obviously you can come back after you've watched it and join us for the, you know, your reaction, our reaction and thoughts on the movie. You got anything, Rich?
Special edition, emergency pod is what I'm gonna call it.
Yeah. He called me this morning and we set this up real quick. Cause I mean, we would have done this tomorrow anyway on the phone. So it makes sense. Like, just do it a little bit earlier. And you know, now we got some content out of it, and I'm excited to hear the world's thoughts on our thoughts. So,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say yeah, especially with we talk about shit other than sneakers, outside of sneakers. We just don't ever record it, you know. And I figure, you know, we actually talk about everything on the pod, not just sneakers.
Yeah.
And we both feel pretty passionate about this movie, so I felt like the conversation that we were going to have on the phone, why not put it on?
It was gonna be it was gonna be A1 anyway.
Yeah, it's gonna be an A1 combo for sure.
So first of all, shout out to Sinners. I got some chrome, like, I don't know, things. I got these at Dreamville Fest. They had a little truck set up. Man, I waited in line for 2 hours for these.
Did they fit them on your teeth?
Yeah. But I wait. First of all, it took forever. And then they fell off as soon as I got off the truck. I went and talked to my homeboy. They fell off immediately. I said, no. Absolutely
How
not.
much were they?
They were free. So that was the lit part. And like, you know, you get to keep them. One lady said she had hers 2 years. They probably plastic or whatever, but they're pretty sturdy.
You want me to put my gold fronts on? Because I got real gold fronts.
I mean, nah, you ain't got to do me like that. But they fell off immediately. Blah blase. I cut back in line. I was like, yo, let me get my joints fixed, bro. It took me 2 more times of doing that to get it right, and they still not even right. So, and then I forgot to wear them the rest of the day, and I forgot to bring them to Charlotte, which is where I saw the movie. So, this is my chance to wear them. But they I got a list with them, so I'm not gonna wear them the whole time. But anyway, I wanted to show them.
That's fire though. They still fire.
Yeah, I wanted to show them at least.
Definitely made me want to get like the sum, because I got full gold fronts.
Yeah.
I like the 2 or 3 here.
2 or 3.
You know, I actually do like that.
Like Stack.
Hmm?
It's like Stack. Stack got he got one right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stack shit fire. All right. Yeah. So I'm gonna do a little bit of. I'm gonna try and breeze through this. I really am. But I'm gonna talk a little bit about the like film aspect, and this has nothing to do with the actual film, but how it was filmed. Ryan Coogler did an interview last week where he went through like aspect ratios and the different types of film and things like that make this movie what it is. And so. Sinners was captured on film, not digitally, like many other movies that we know. Like over 90% of like modern movies are not captured on film; they're digitally captured. So there's 8mm film, which is something that like a home camera would have, like something me and you could record on. There's 16mm film, which is what they recorded Fruitville Station on. So Ryan Coogler does, prefer to film with real film, not digital. And then there's 35mm film, which is what most of like not modern era movies, but everything before like 2010, before digital was the standard. Everything like that, it was the major format for most major films. And then the Sinners was, well, not the Sinners, but Sinners was filmed on 65 millimeter, which is large format. Which, as the film gets wider, you have more resolution and a shallower depth of field, which just means like the things in the background are going to be less in focus than the front pictures, which obviously, from a director's standpoint, is going to give you a unique outlook on each of the scenes in the movie.
Right.
So, Sinners was filmed in two different aspect ratios. One being Ultra Panovision, and the other one being IMAX. They actually teamed up with IMAX when they filmed this. And I don't want to just ramble off numbers, but the aspect ratio for the Ultra Panovision 70 is 2.76 to 1, which is super wide, like really, really wide, like one of the widest formats that you're ever going to see a film in. It's very rare. But that's what, I don't know if you saw it in, did you see it regular?
IMAX.
Okay. I did not see it in IMAX. I saw it regular. I do plan to go back and see this in IMAX. So the regular one is very wide. That's the Ultra Panavision 70. IMAX, and this one is not just dependent on what ticket you buy, but what theater you're at. So you could, depending on your theater, you could go buy an IMAX ticket and get two different experiences if my theater is different than your theater. So there's certain theaters that have a larger screen where it'll start out in the Ultra Panavision 2.76 to 1, and then it will expand for certain parts of the movie to the 1.90 to 1 aspect ratio, which is not quite a square, obviously, but closer to, but that's just for certain portions of the movie. Did yours move at all?
I can't recall. I'm trying to think back on it, listening to you explain that portion of it. Maybe like on some of the close-up scenes, like once everybody started getting turned and they was trying to get back in to the barn.
Yeah.
And like it was close up with like Haley Steinfeld, everybody like kind of just standing there behind them. I feel like that was a different versus like when the vampires are looking at it.
Yeah.
It was a wider screen picture versus when they were up close. I feel like that's when it's elongated versus it staying wide. Like when they were chasing after him, when the Native Americans were chasing after him, and they showed like the house, like in the middle of nowhere, and it was super wide and open. Everything behind it was no other houses near it. I think that's when they took the opportunity to do the wide versus the up close, and they stretched it out when they was like coming to the door to talk to him, for example. So I do think that's when it went back and forth.
So like that part is going to be based primarily off theater. So I would like to go back and see this movie in IMAX, but they said that the 1.431 theaters are very rare. So I don't know if I have to call the manager and say, hey, like, do you have this screen? But I would like. There's a portion. There's a screening that's filmed in 1.43 to 1, which is like the entire thing that they filmed the whole time. So it's a completely different experience than the other two screenings. And that's the one I would ideally like to be able to see. I'm sure when it becomes digitally available at home, I'll be able to do that. But as of right now, like, there's an RPX theater that I can go to, but I don't know if that's the same thing because it just says larger screen. So I don't know. I don't know who I have to get on the phone with. If I have to call Ryan Coogler and ask him.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
But
I'm trying to see if I can tell you what size the one is at the point because I think it says it. I'm pretty sure it does say it, actually. I might be tripping.
Ryan Coogler did intend for it to be seen in the 1.43 to 1, which is the largest screen the whole time. So as close to a square as possible. It still has the wide, but it just has a, like when they're driving in the car with Slim and Sammy, it looks completely different. Like you can't see the doors of the car and like the top of the hat, and like it just looks much better. When Sammy's carrying a lantern in one of the scenes, it looks amazing. from the clips that I've seen of the differences.
Right. Oh, actually, I lied. I watched it PDX, not IMAX.
Was that like with the chair shaking?
Nah, the chairs didn't shake, but it's supposed to be just a premium digital experience. But I thought it said something that had like the size of the screen, but I stand corrected.
Well, I mean, no big deal. Like I said, I plan to go see it again in IMAX. And when I show you the difference, like on the screen on this, you might want to see it as well. But you know, for everybody else, it's probably not that big of a deal. But this was like Ryan Coogler said, this is the first time ever that a film has been shot from two different aspect ratios, and they've combined the two and released it in so many different options and variations for like media consumption. So, all right, I'm done nerding out about the film. So we can talk about the actual movie now.
Yeah, it is heading the box office revenue right now. It's like at like 46.5 million on the weekend so far.
Jesus.
Something like that.
This is Ryan Coogler's highest rated film on Rotten Tomatoes. It was at 100%, but it is now at 98%, 2% above Black Panther, his second highest rated movie. That obviously includes Michael B. Jordan as well. They're just a tag team like to be reckoned with. Like I really don't understand. They just don't miss.
Like Scorsese and I'm having a brain fart. Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah. Hey, Leo. Well, Michael B. Jordan's that dude too, but Leo, I don't know. It might be hard to mess up Leo.
Yeah, Leo's my guy.
Yeah,
man.
He's tough.
My guy. He wanted him.
He wanted him once. He's tough.
Yeah, he wanted him once for real.
Something I wanted to say, like for the people who haven't seen the movie still, is like this film takes place in 1932. Obviously, this is Jim Crow era. Like there's very racist tones and like as long as you have an understanding of that, you'll understand the film. This is also Prohibition era, so alcohol is illegal, which will also have a part to play in the film. I don't think you have to know anything else going into it. I told Meg this before, like, because I knew this, like, in a lot of folklore, evil spirits cannot enter your home unless you invite them in. That's something that you should know prior to going into the film. I think they explained that briefly, but just in case you missed that, it's a good thing to know ahead of time, and it's not like a huge, huge thing to take with you.
It's worth knowing though.
Yeah, I think so.
What y'all doing? Just step aside and let me on in now.
Why you need him to do that? You big and strong enough to push past us?
Well, that wouldn't be too polite now, would it, Miss Annie? I don't know why I'm talking to you anyway. Smoke.
Don't talk to him. You talking to me right now. Why you can't just walk your big ass up in here without an invite, huh? Go ahead. Admit to it.
Admit to what?
That you dead.
So you listening to this? Now we out here playing games, telling ghost stories in place of doing what we ought to do.
And what is it we supposed to be doing?
Being kind to one another. And being polite. Now we is one people. And we shouldn't go in barging into other folks' places uninvited, so. You've been in and out of here all day. Ain't never need an invite then. Yeah, something ain't adding up. Can I at least get my money?
Careful.
And recognize that getting fly back then Meaning you got to wear a 3-piece suit and some hard bottoms.
Yeah.
Wasn't no sneakers.
None of that.
So basically, in August, you got to wear a suit jacket and you walk around sweating, trying to be fly at the same time.
But he was doing it.
Yeah, you was doing that. I told Bulls, I was like, yo, ain't you glad you was born in this era? He's like, man, we should have worn zoot suits. I said, yo, nobody's wearing a zoot suit.
Yeah, that's
April,
wild.
bro.
That's wild.
It's not happening.
Yeah. Obviously, you should be able to tell pretty easily, differentiate the characters of Smoke and Stack. Obviously, the twins are played by Michael B. Jordan. Another thing, Michael B. Jordan directed his first film of Creed 3. And he said that they did have a double for the twin. And a lot of times, like, Ryan Coogler would be off doing other things. And, like, Michael B. Jordan would have to direct the, like basically his part, because he would have to tell the twin, hey, do this. And then Michael B. Jordan would have to be more intentional about his acting to basically replicate it. And he said that was very difficult because obviously a lot of the magic that happens of acting is in the moment and it's spontaneous, but he had to be very, very intentional because he directed this person to do blase beforehand,
right,
or after, and I feel like that's a big deal, and that shows a lot of talent from the actor director standpoint.
Yeah. Another fun thing is Ryan Coogler actually sat with some twins and studied their behavior and stuff like that, talked to them and kind of understood or got an understanding of how, they relate to each other, how they're connected to each other. And one thing that he said in the interview about the twins was that when the twins came in, they sat down next to each other. He said, well, you realize they don't really sit apart from each other. And so he asked them, he said, do you do that because y'all want to stay close to each other, or like, is there a different reason? And he said their answer was, it makes people feel more comfortable. It's almost like people get weirded out when they separate or sit far from each other because they feel like they got to keep doing this. So they just sit next to each other to make sure people are comfortable around them, just because people get kind of weird around twins sometimes. But I went to school with twins, the LaPaca twins. They played sports. One of them was a quarterback. One of them was a quarterback, one of them was a kicker. And the kicker played soccer. I think the quarterback only played quarterback. I don't remember if he played another sport. He might have played baseball, or either both of them played baseball. But they were really athletic. But they weren't, like, really weird, though. Like, I never really looked at twins like that. And I know another set of twins as well. They both used to play basketball. They used to hoop. But, I mean, I don't know. They just brothers.
Yeah, I don't know, like, if there is a stigma around twins being weird. I haven't met any, like, OD weird.
Maybe not the weird thing. Yeah. Maybe they got some things that they do that, kind of connecting to each other. Another thing they talked about was, it was another story they were telling, not necessarily in preparation for the movie, but they were talking about twins again, and it was like a set of twins where one of the twins passed away, and shortly after the other twin passed away. It's almost like they gotta kind of coexist together.
A connection,
and so kind of played into the movie, even though,
Okay. I don't have anything else to say for my non-watched people except go watch the movie. Try to watch it in IMAX. Go see it as soon as possible because the spoilers are going to come from, if not from us, from somebody. The movie is amazing. I really like Michael B. Jordan did his best, and Ryan Coogler did a great job where it feels like he took, like, for anyone who's seen Without Remorse that Michael B. Jordan is in, Black Panther and Creed, it feels like he took the characters out of that and split them in half, and he was like, okay, here's the antagonist part of Killmonger, and here's the protagonist part of Adonis, and we're going to give you two separate characters based off of the personalities and Michael B. Jordan's ability to work in these personalities as a good and bad character. And he didn't have to choose between a protagonist and an antagonist in this film, and I think that's what makes it so good, is that you didn't have to sacrifice either, because they're both at a point. So definitely go watch this film.
Yeah.
All right.
Spoil stuff now?
Yeah. Talk to him.
All right, so what you want to start with?
So the first thing I want to say, like, I think it's really cool that this is like there's two separate halves of this movie, that are two almost completely different genres. Like, this is not a horror film for the first hour. And I think that's really cool. You spend a decent amount of time getting used to and knowing all the characters. There's no type of any, like, nothing supernatural in the first hour, at all. If you didn't, some of the people that I watched today, like when I was looking at videos, didn't know that it was a vampire movie from the trailer or from the first hour. Now, I did. Maybe I'm not slow, but like, there's just not, like, it was a 1930s, like, Chicago gangster movie for the first hour.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie though, when I first saw the trailers, I didn't know it was vampires. I knew it was supernatural, from the trailers.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about like first trailers. I was just like, what is
from the first
creature?
trailer,
like,
I think,
are they zombies? Are they different things? And then of course realized they were vampires.
from the first trailer, I can't remember it exactly. I thought there was some part of it that gave a cue that I thought was vampires, but I can't really remember. But I've wanted to see it since that first trailer that dropped like last October. I've been really excited to see this film.
Yeah, I don't know if Haley Steinfeld was in the first trailer when her mouth was bloody. I can't remember if that was in the very first trailer. But I love her character in the movie. I mean, I ain't necessarily like how I feel about Sydney Sweeney, because she fine as hell. I didn't necessarily feel like that about Haley Steinfeld until this. She just her role, and not to make it like just all about that, but she was just so sexy in the movie. She really was. I just like her character and how she played it. And then she was supposed to be like a quarter black. Like, you can kind of feel that. Like, she really did a good job. Man.
Yeah,
she
had a lot of personality that was giving the quarter black, and I think that her character was written very well, except for the part that she sold the whole. She just had to go outside. She sold the whole ship.
I couldn't believe that part in that was her white side, because
yeah.
That's how white women do in the movie. So, I mean, it fit, and I always say when I watch a movie, somebody got to do something stupid. We can't sit here and watch the movie if everybody's doing the right things, because then the movie will be boring.
Yeah. So,
somebody got to do something stupid. I just wish it wasn't her, though, I guess. I wish it wasn't her that went outside first.
I wish it wasn't her, and I'm glad. I hate that Stack had to pay the price for that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know who you prefer, Smoke or Stack, but Stack was my favorite character.
Stack was mine too, because he had Haley Steinfeld, but continue.
I mean, he was just fly. Like, he had the
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he was fly. Yeah,
he had the tooth. He had the swag. He had the hat. Smoke's Kango is cool, but it's not like. I don't know. They're the same person, but somehow Stack had more swag. Same haircut, same everything. Yeah.
He was a little more. Yeah. Well, I would say he was a little more sharp until he wasn't.
Yeah. Tell me what you were gonna say about where you felt like it could have been better.
So, interestingly, when we talked about it the other night before you had seen the movie, and you were like, you hope that it's backstory. Yes, there is backstory. So everybody that watches the movie, please pay attention to those small conversations, because in those small conversations, there's a lot of backstory. But I just wanted it to be a little more backstory, but you can't do but so much, because he did optimize 2 hours and 45 minutes to the best of his ability. It's not really a whole lot more you could have squeezed into the movie. I mean, maybe not. Another Ryan Coogler conversation, he said that he was hoping that he was over doing trilogies or series of movies. So he's hoping this was only going to be one movie. But with the success of this movie and the way Hollywood works, man, if he really only lets this be one movie, I would be shocked. But that was one of my big things. I just felt like it could have been a little more backstory. Even with what you said about the first half of the movie and it not being any, supernatural stuff going on at all in the first part of the movie, it almost kind of goes, in the direction of like, well, how long have these things existed? Because it's almost like this is the first time this has ever happened.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, the way times was back then, communications wasn't the same. So maybe he was going town to town. So a separation between where he was committing these, you know, atrocities and turning people. But he was by himself, too, which also was kind of strange. And he was Irish. So how did he get to America? And he's by himself. He don't have no other vampires with him.
Yeah, so a question I would have to be was, can they bite someone without turning them because he had nobody with him? The second answer to that question could be that they were killed by the Indians that were chasing him.
You're racist. They're Native Americans.
Native Americans, correct. You're right.
I couldn't wait for that because Bull called them Indians too. I see the same thing to him. Say, yeah, you're racist. They're Native Americans.
And so, you know, all of his people could have been killed by him because I mean he was in pretty bad shape, and it didn't seem like it didn't seem like it was just from the sun because the sun was on his back too. But yeah, like what did he do in other places? Because he had blood on his mouth.
Yeah, you make a valid point. Yeah. That's another thing too. I thought that we were going to see the Native Americans again. Because they got that. Because Bull called them Indians, too. I see the same thing to him. Yeah, you're racist. They're Native Americans. I would, you know, as much as I love Michael B. Jordan, because I do, I'll take a movie with the Native American dudes, man, because I want to see them be vampire hunters. I would like to see them, you know, if what we think happened, if he killed his other vampire pack prior to him getting to that house, I would like to see that.
I think this stays a standalone film. The only things that would make sense to me is to like Stack's adventures after, you know, Stack and Mary's adventures, or a what's it called, a prelude to the movie, you know. But that would be like, there's no way that you could incorporate what, like, you know, it would tell their story in Chicago and stuff like that.
Or tell their story in Chicago.
But there's no way that there would be vampires involved, and then that would be weird to, you know, have a vampire movie and then the prologue to it has no vampires in it. So maybe. You know, it's like a change of genre completely.
Right. I said maybe. It might be weird, but maybe not.
I mean, I'm not saying it's like, I would still watch it because Smoke and Stack were like amazing characters, but it's like imagine if The Conjuring had a prelude that was just so serious, or like a regular movie with no Conjuring in it. That just seems strange to like have an adaptation of a horror film and then make it an action thriller, whatever, that has no, you know, parts of the, you know.
Right. Now I will say this though, and not to overthink that part, but they basically just maybe not have come in contact with vampires before. You know, the way they kind of were vague about the different things that they've seen across the world, that don't mean they never seen anything else strange. They just didn't know what it was.
But I feel like Smoke,
even the aspect of voodoo was with the chain. Because remember when Stack tried to bite Smoke, he couldn't bite him. It was because of the little protective necklace.
But I feel like Smoke said he had never seen anything like that. He said, I've been all across the world, and the only thing I have seen is power. And the only way you get power is money. I thought he said that he had, like, you know, I don't believe in none of that stuff because I haven't seen any of it. But I mean, that's just a small part anyway. But I would still love to see Smoke and Stack beforehand. I would watch it. I just don't know if it makes sense as far as like what the film started as.
But they did have the voodoo aspect, though. Yeah. That's why I say, even if they didn't really see anything per se that looked supernatural to them, you know, they could be creative and figure out a way they could have come in contact with some things and just not be able to identify that it was supernatural per se. That's
I'm trust me, I'm not putting anything past Coog. So
yeah.
Another part of this movie that I enjoyed a lot, I enjoyed the couple that owned the general store. I enjoyed Sammy, even though he's technically the main character, but I enjoyed all of the Omar Miller, Cornbread. Like, I enjoyed Slim. Like, I really enjoyed the surrounding cast. It sucks that literally every single one of them died. Literally every single one.
You know the funniest part? When she said, you know, come in, effing get us, whatever she said, and then vampires came in. The vampires killed so many people. It wasn't so many people in there anymore.
Yeah.
So they was killing people, and me and Boo were looking at it like, yo, who were they killing? It wasn't nobody left.
Yeah.
So it was like they was killing extras that came out of nowhere. Because when they was standing at the door, it was just like 5 of them. But they came in there and they was killing like mad people.
Yeah. And how did they end up? How did they end up really beating the? Like, I don't understand how they even won. Like I do, but like they should have been slaughtered immediately.
Immediately.
Like
they were like fighting the vampires and like
killing
some of them.
Like Smoke
or stabbing them, shooting them.
Smoke, cool. I feel you. You know, he's really that one. He stabbed a fucking rattlesnake with some knuckles, like, bro, that was insane.
Yeah. After his brother threw him the knife.
Yeah, literally. But everybody else, I can't speak for none of y'all combat skills.
That's what I'm saying.
So
they got a little weird with that little part.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what? And I was like, yo, how y'all even killing some? These vampires are like regular people.
Yeah.
And y'all ain't never seen this before. And y'all like adjusting to this.
Yeah.
Like y'all vampire hunters.
It was wild. It was a little wild. I mean, that's not my favorite scene anyway. You know, it was cool. So I was doing some research because I was like, while I was watching the movie, I'm like, 1930s. Where did Smoke get this gun? Because his gun doesn't look like the other guns that they had in the. He had like a real pistol, like. But then I looked up and there was some pistols like that back in the day. But I was like, yo, he pulled out 2 and said like.
Yeah.
Like really quickly, like that.
Yeah.
It didn't look like a 1930s gun at all until I did my research. That joint looked like.
Yeah, but you know they had like top, you know, for the times they had the top weaponry that they possibly could have.
Yeah.
Remember when they got the trunk at the end?
Yeah.
And stuff they had in the trunk with the Tommy gun.
Yeah. But I don't know. I like it was the way like the clip went back and it just looked very modern. I'm not gonna lie. The gun he didn't use it the whole time. Like there's a point where there's an older pistol that's used, but specifically when they're in the barn, I'm like, yo, where did he get this, bro? I mean, I know he was in a military gang, but you was in the like testing facility or something, like.
Yeah. They had top tier weapons.
Yeah,
bro.
he got the it's a vampire killer essentially, but I mean, yeah, he put like 8 bullets in Haley Steinfeld, like
yeah,
that was
real quick.
That joint was
ran
wild.
Out.
Yeah, that joint was wild.
Them bullets ain't do nothing.
I was very sad when Stat got bit because obviously it looked like he was gonna die. Because I mean, at that point we didn't know if every single one turned. So that was a sad part of the movie. But obviously my dog.
Yeah, it's still sad though, you know, because I mean he ain't human no more. I mean, I guess unless you're rooting for the vampires.
Nah, I mean he happy though. That's all I can like. He chilling, bro. He got a Coogler sweater on.
He had a Coogler sweater on, but that's the crazy part because like, you know, I feel like with the thing about twins and one living, dying, they both technically died.
Yeah.
Technically, because vampire isn't alive, so they both technically died, and it's almost like Smoke gave up because Stag died, even though he became a vampire and he let him go. He still kind of just gave up because he wasn't going to ever be with his brother.
He definitely gave up. He offed all of the clan members, took 1 bullet and said, "Yeah, I'm done."
I'm done. He took the necklace off before he did it because it's like the necklace did protect him.
Exactly. So I think he wanted to be with Annie, because she said we're waiting for you after, like, you know, when she was when she was dying.
I'd have been a vampire, so I don't know why they tripping. I mean, I don't want to be a vampire, but I'm going to just go ahead and do it.
I would rather be a vampire than die.
In those circumstances,
yeah.
I'm going to just go ahead.
Yeah. But so and you said he gave up, which felt oddly reminiscent of Black Panther, because Killmonger like got stabbed and like could have sought medical attention and just like didn't. Yeah. He's like, no.
Yeah, he just sat there too.
Yeah,
literally, he did the same thing.
Literally, he sat down. He said, "Nah, just bury me with my brothers." I said, "Yo, what are you doing, bro? We got more movies to make, yo. Like, where you going?"
And he was Killmonger at some points in the movie. He was Killmonger a few times.
Yes. Yeah.
He was legitimately. He sounded like Killmonger a few times.
But at the same time, have you seen Without Remorse?
No, I haven't. I know you're talking about it, but I haven't.
He is an absolute, like, that Smoke. He's an absolute demon. Like there's at one point where the opposition he like traps this dude in a car, sets the car on fire, and then gets in the car himself and continues to interrogate this man in the burning car. It was
That's different.
Yeah, absolutely insane. So I feel like I mean just a lot of his aggressive characters are gonna seem very similar, but I mean they're all phenomenal. So,
Right. Me and Bull will probably watch Without Remorse at some point.
yeah, Without Remorse was really good. I think another thing to note is like obviously the becoming a vampire doesn't destroy all of your free will. So my question is, why were they able to make a deal with Stack afterwards but not before? You know, like
I'd say the same thing. I was like, so you told him not to kill Sammy and he listened. So why he ain't just chill before?
Yeah, and at first when he was in that room, I thought they were gonna have him on their side and he was just gonna be a vampire.
Right.
That was my initial, but then he obviously tried to bite everybody, and I'm like, yo, like, it's Stack though. Like I feel like because obviously I felt like I'm part of the movie at this point. I feel like I know Stack. I feel like, man, Stack would be cool, bro. Like he'd be a cool vampire. He ain't gonna off nobody.
Right. That's what I would have thought too. That's the same thing I said, man. I kind of didn't understand that. And I kind of applied some of the other vampire lore from other movies. And I don't even remember if it was like Blade or what it was exactly. But they were trying to say when the vampires first turn, they don't have as much self-control as they'll learn.
That's the same in Twilight.
They kind of, yeah. I think it might have been Twilight too, but they kind of like wild animals at first. Yeah, I think it is in Twilight as well.
But at the same time, it was like an hour later. I can't even give him too much. But the only thing I guess I can say is that like he was defeated, and this isn't like Mortal Kombat or some fucking Warrior universe, but like he accepted defeat in the battle to Smoke. So I guess that means like, you know, like their word is binding that they made a deal that he's not gonna touch Sammy.
Right.
And when did he tell Mary to run away so that they could be together? Because like, you know, like when did that happen?
Right. And they tried to show that little scene with her running off, like, happened at some point.
But like what? Bro, all it was her, like, literally, it didn't show her, like, turning around. It was just her already running away.
Yeah, that was wild.
That joke was funny.
That was wild.
That was funny.
It's always going to be those little parts of movies where you kind of like, yo, wait, what?
Yo, what?
How y'all get here from where y'all was just at? But ain't no movie going to be perfect, though.
But, I mean...
You know what my other complaint was? I got another complaint.
Go ahead.
I hate songs in movies. Like, I hate when they break out into singing in any kind of movie. Like, you can do it for like a second, but don't give me like 4 scenes where people breaking out into singing.
So
I never want that. I don't care if that's a part of the movie. Don't do that to me. I know movies gonna do it. It's not gonna make me hate the movie or nothing. Of course, I love the movie, but I hate when they do that.
So you didn't like Sammy singing, or like?
I don't like nobody singing.
Dang.
Never singing movies,
I'm not gonna lie. That scene with like
Sammy singing is fine. I don't want to apply that to everybody. But when what's the vampire name?
Remick.
I'm about to call him Malachi.
Remick,
when they broke out into their little song and dance, I was like, yo, why? We don't need this part.
Pick poor Robbie clean.
It's not a new year,
yeah.
But I get it though. I get it.
No. But I honestly, I liked the vampire song more than the scene, and they're about to snatch my black card away on YouTube, because the scene where it was like the African culture and the electric guitar, I was not feeling it.
They could have left that shit out.
Yeah, I was not feeling it, and I'm sorry to all the.
I'm telling you, that's what really made me mad.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm sorry to the culture stands.
I wasn't so invested already. You would have lost me if you did this earlier. I'd have been mad if you did this earlier. You're lucky I'm already invested now.
But yeah, that was. I didn't like that scene very much, but I understand what it did. You know, like it obviously it called Remick over. Like that was the first like scene in the movie. The narrator says like, you know, people have the gift of music that, you know, transcends time and the boundaries between life and death. But cool, I understand. But that scene was mad long, bro.
Mad long.
It was just panning mad long. Oh, and I gotta get the. Why was this movie? This is my only. I don't. It's not even a qualm. I'm not mad. Why was this movie like low key freaky, bro? This freaky ass movie, bro. Like
it was also freaky. Bull sitting in a movie theater like this. I'm like, yo, hold on, I'll let you know when it's over, bro.
like
he just still felt awkward, like around when situations like that come up. They at least didn't get naked though. That's one thing that I said. It ain't no nudity in it.
Yeah.
But it was definitely freaky though.
It was that was a freaky ass movie at times. I'm not gonna lie. All three of the main characters got some play. That's wild. Like maybe one, maybe Sammy. But all three of them, I gotta see. Why I gotta see Smoke and Stack get busy? They the same person.
Both of them.
They the same person, bro. That don't make no sense.
Didn't matter. Both of them had to get cheeks.
Yeah, that don't make no sense. And Stack got off for his cheeks. Was it worth it? We'll never know.
I don't think it was worth it.
I don't think it was worth it either.
Yeah.
So.
That's my only gripes about it, though.
Nah, I like I said, I really want to see it again.
A little more backstory. The Irish vampire. And I got how they try to tie that in because Irish people were oppressed and slaves as well.
Yeah.
That's what he was trying to explain, which is fine, whatever. That's what I almost fought Carlton over. That's what I almost punched Carlton in the mouth over in 2020 when I was in foot action. And he tried to tell me that Irish people was oppressed like black people. Don't say that to me right now, bro. I'll slap you. I was so mad about that. So when I was watching the movie, that's the first thing I thought about when he brought that up. I was like, that's that bullshit Carlton was talking about.
Yeah. I like that it came full circle and like Smoke did not let the fact that the Klansmen were gonna come and kill them. He did not let that go. Like he could have left.
He could have left.
He
could not let that go.
He very easily could have left and moved on. He said, "Oh, all right, they was gonna kill me. They was gonna fuck with the twin. All right, yeah." So
that was hard though. That he told him that though, like, "Yo, you thought that they was just gonna let y'all buy this and that be that? No, they coming to kill you.
Yeah, they coming to kill you. Like,
yeah, they coming to kill you.
That's crazy.
This is, whatever dude's son.
Yeah, the crazy that that was his his nephew or something. That's crazy that it connected like that. They said, yeah, we're gonna let you have a juke joint for about we'll let you get it for a day. You can have your night.
A day,
yeah,
bro.
They said grand opening, grand closing.
Grand closing.
Yeah.
And the catchphrase from the movie, I don't want to forget that before we finish, is y'all brothers? No, we not brothers, we cousins.
He said y'all twins? Nah, we cousins.
You twins?
Nah, we cousins.
That was fire. That was fire.
That is the quotable phrase, the top one from the movie, I would say.
Nah, we cousins.
We cousins. Everybody's saying that. I've seen that on Instagram and everything. It don't apply to nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing nobody talk about. They're just saying, nah, we cousins.
Yeah, the dude that I went to go see it with, he posted it. He said, we took a picture there. He posted on his story. He said, y'all twins? I said, nah, we cousins. I reposted it. We cousins.
That's fire. Yeah, that's fire. Yeah, the other thing, too, I don't want to forget, is the Margiela shoe that came out for the movie that nobody had on in the movie.
So it's a
one of me and Boog was talking about, like, why nobody didn't at least wear it in the movie.
So it's weird how they promoted this movie. There's Fear of God apparel. They're, like I said, they were at Dreamville. They were giving out free fangs. And then there's this custom one-of-one StockX, like, promoted Margiela boot mixed with a Asics football cleat. Where did this come from? Where did it come from? I don't understand. And Michael B. Jordan. Yeah, Michael B. Jordan was endorsing it, and I know, he kind of has to. It's his shoe, but like, it was for him, you know.
At all during the premiere?
It was an interview. No, it was an interview speaking about the shoe. Where he was like, yeah, it's got, like, he knew the boot that it was like half based off, and I'm like, yo, like, I guess he's into designer stuff like that, but that was just wild to me. Like, he was like co-signing for it, but I don't know if it was.
Did he have anything to do with designing it that you know of?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
It's not the worst shoe I've ever seen. They would have to give it to me, and I would have to be on a Center's red carpet. But it, like, you know, outside of that, no, it doesn't. It will never enter this shoe room.
So, not that they would have had a choice, but this is a Nike Waffle Racer 3 dress shoe. I don't think I got no pictures of it on my page or anything like that. But I mean, I've had this shoe since like maybe 06. But I used to wear it with jeans and stuff like that. But the leather is like actually like really good leather. Nothing is crumbling on them. They just separating.
Yeah.
So I just need to get them re-glued. And it's actually only one of them because I used to take my shoe off and put my, foot down on the heel.
Yep.
And that one started to separate. The other one is actually fine. But I might get them re-glued one day, though. But they fired. I mean, they mad comfortable. They got Zoom air in them. But the reason why I got this out is because of that ugly shoe, and it made me think about it. Because it's like, man, they could have made a better shoe if they would have did like a collab with like Cole Haan or something like that. Because I got some nice Cole Haan dress shoes. If they wanted to make like a shoe that looked like it fit the time of the movie, and I mean, I guess they probably did wear like ugly ass shoes like that shoe back then.
I don't even think that's what it
for like a dress shoe.
I don't think that's what it was for though, because it's not like they went to Margiela and Margiela did it. Like somebody copied and pasted this joint together. Like it's two shoes together.
Oh, but they selling on StockX though.
It was just one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a one of one. It's a boot. It's got the bottom of a boot and the top of the Asics football cleat, and that's
I
why.
didn't realize it was like
a
person customized. I thought the companies came together and did this.
I don't know who, but yeah, it's like made like there's only one, and so it was
the
like
company's gotta have something, not necessarily to do with it, but they have to be aware of it.
Yeah.
On a certain level, because StockX is the one auctioning the shoe off for $1.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe the dude is a designer and he already worked on the movie. Like, like maybe he could be on the cast. He could be, something related to the movie. They have to know, but it definitely, like, I don't know. It's weird. It's one of one, though. I know that. I know that.
Yeah.
One of two, maybe. Maybe they gave one to Michael B. Jordan, but,
Like, he ain't weird.
Yeah, he made it seem like he didn't have it, so, in the interview, so.
Yeah. I wondered if did he have Haley Steinfeld, because the niggas is saying Josh Allen punching the air right now. They chemistry on the red carpet. I mean, I'm just saying. I know how sometimes you act when you might have, you know what I mean, but you can't really, because she in another. I'm just saying, man. I don't know.
I ain't putting it past. I don't put nothing past nobody because that's a smooth dude.
Nobody, bro. That's a smooth brother, man. So, hey, good luck to Josh Allen, man. He got a lot of money, so he buy another one.
He lost this when this was gone?
I mean, I don't know if he did, but if he did, he can get another one.
Yeah. I didn't realize that she was Gwen.
Oh, yeah, in Spider-Verse?
Yeah.
Yeah, she is. Gwen.
She got 2 Marvel roles. That's fire.
Yeah, and Hawkeye. She-Hawkeye.
Yo, why do I not remember her?
And I watched the whole series, too. Ain't that good.
Kate Bishop, but what is her name? She don't got a name yet?
I think it's Hawkeye. Kate Bishop Hawkeye.
Oh, she's Hawkeye too?
I think so, bro.
All right. I mean, I'll take your word for it. This man says she Hawkeye.
She Hawkeye. And she wasn't even that fine in that. I mean, she was cute. She fine now, though. Yeah.
It's Hawkeye?
Hawkeye, in parentheses, Kate Bishop.
Oh, okay.
Catherine Elizabeth Bishop is a fictional character. Blah, 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 blah. Hawkeye.
Well, you was right.
Yeah, I told you it was Hawkeye.
Yeah, you was right.
Her name ain't nothing different. Well, I don't know what kind of review this is. It's a review.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of, it's the first one we're doing, so we got some. We'll have a more structured thing next time. We'll probably do maybe the
Don't listen to that, guys.
maybe the Thunderbolts.
We won't be structured. We're gonna wild out on the next one.
Maybe Thunderbolts next time, right?
Thunderbolts next.
Yeah, that's 2 weeks. Thunderbolts, then Superman. Fantastic Four.
Superman.
Fantastic Four, yeah. Oh, you saw the trailer for him?
No.
Oh,
I'll watch it when we
no,
get
that's
there.
because it came out the day that I went. That trailer wasn't out on Thursday. But yeah, it's a trailer for Jordan Peele's new movie. We'll definitely have to talk about that one.
Okay.
Very good.
Yeah, I'll probably go see that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks kind of crazy though. I might have to wait till that one's at home, but I don't know if I can watch that in a dark theater. I'm not gonna lie. Hey, just being honest. You got anything else?
Nah, I ain't got nothing else.
So final.
This ain't wear no sneakers to our sneaker podcast because it's a movie review, but I still got on heat.
Yeah. My final review, 9.5 out of 10.
I'll agree. I'm not even just agreeing to agree. I'm gonna say 9.5 out of 10.
9.5 out of 10. They
I
lost.
ain't never really did a review, and it inspired me to do a review. I'm gonna give it a 9.5 out of 10.
The only part I would say is the shit is just freaky. Beware who you go with. Don't go with somebody you're not cool with seeing freaky shit with. Don't go with your home.
The kids cover their eyes.
Yeah.
If it look like they about to get freaky, they are.
Yeah.
It'll just surprise you with it. You see the freaky coming.
Yeah, exactly.
You got time to cover your eyes. Like,
yes.
If it look like they about to get freaky, they are.
And they gonna talk freaky. Haley Steinfeld was talking crazy, and so was Stack. Stack was talking crazy. Yeah, like yo.
I like how Haley Steinfeld was talking. I was like, yo, she talking like that?
Yeah, that joke was wild.
Where she at, though?
Yo, hey, yo.
Hey, yo, where you at, though?
All right, guys. We'll see y'all next time. The podcast we just released yesterday, but today is Sunday, and this will probably be out Monday. So it released 2 days ago. Go watch that, and see what happened to Rich's bricks. Yeah, I said Rick.
Go see what happened to Rick by bricks.
Yeah, so
West Side Gun voice, that was terrible.
Hey,
I hope West Side Gun never hears.
Boo, 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 boo. So yeah, we'll see y'all out on the next time. Check out all of our videos, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know if we how we did on our review, and if you've seen the movie, let us know what you think. Let us know what you think about the movie down below.
Peace.
Peace.